This video is brought to you in association with Just EVs, where this car and many other new and used EVs are available for sale and test drives.
The new Citroën DS3 Crossback E-Tense is based on the same platform that services the Peugeot E208 and the Corsa E, which all fall under the PSA umbrella. The looks are rather unique, and it appears Citroën haven't gone for the aerodynamic look, judging by the size of this front grille, which isn't blanked off. The boot space isn't bad and should cater for most of your needs, but it does have a large rear lip you'll need to lift your luggage or shopping over. At 350 litres, it's right in the mix for a subcompact SUV crossover. Under the boot floor, you'll only find an inflation kit, and there's no option for a spare wheel. You're supplied as standard with both the 3-pin plug and the Type 2 cable for 7kW home charging. Under the bonnet, it is the same as the Peugeot E208 and the Corsa E, albeit with a different top cover. Sadly, like many EVs nowadays, there's no storage here. The model we're testing has halogen headlamps as standard, but if you want matrix LEDs, that's going to cost you another £1,200, so not cheap. The overall finish of the E-Tense I found to be very good, and I particularly like the Tesla-esque door handles that work very well and feel well built. Jumping inside, the driver's position is spacious with good all-round visibility. You have a manual reach and rake adjustment, and both front seats are also fully manual. Jumping in the back, however, isn't so much fun. The doors have a narrow opening angle, and the roofline meant I knocked my head every time I jumped in or out, and I'm 5'6". You do get good drink storage all round with 6 cup holders in total, but again the glove box falls foul of the left-hand drive conversion and offers very little space. The interior, despite being covered in diamonds, is a very nice place to be, and in particular the driver's cockpit is very comfortable. The issue Peugeot have with reading their instrument cluster through or over the steering wheel won't be found here. The interior controls are almost all touch sensitive and work well, and the screen, also touch sensitive, works well without any lag and not too many layers to navigate. As standard, you have a reversing camera, which does give the impression you're going backwards at warp speed due to its low positioning, but it works well. The electrochromatic rear view mirror is a nice addition, but it does show the rear visibility with no passengers isn't the DS3's strongest attribute. Now, this was a real gripe for me and reminded me of the Polestar. The release for the boot has been taken from the tailgate and placed on the rear bumper, which even at my height is inconvenient at best. Add to that, the release isn't the easiest to find either. The charging port is located on the near side rear quarter panel and offers CCS with 99kW DC rapid charging, and as standard, a 7.4kW onboard charger using the Type 2 connection.
Please remember to check out our other videos and click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so you get notifications each time we upload another video.
Hello and welcome to another episode, and welcome to the Citroën DS3 Crossback E-Tense.
That's a long name, isn't it?
It is a long name.
It's been a while since we've done a review together, hasn't it? It's so long.
It has, thanks to lockdown.
Yeah, but we're back on it now, so all good, all good. So what are your thoughts then? We've what, about 10 miles in so far?
Yeah.
And how are you finding it?
Well, my first impressions, I really like the front of it. I think it's got a nice face, and I think it looks good. It's styled really well. The wheels look chunky. It's the kind of car I would have imagined my teenage self to have liked the look of.
Yeah, okay. So it's based on the same platform as the E208, but it does sit higher, and I quite like that. I quite like the higher ride position, but I suppose that's going to have an impact on range ultimately. But it's, for me, the first impressions were, I'm not sure. There's a lot of squares and diamond shapes like this everywhere, even stitched into the leather seats. You might be able to see at the back there, it's got diamonds in the seats, and all the touch buttons are diamonds. So, and I thought at first it'd be a bit overpowering, but I've actually got quite used to it. It's a very nice place to be when you're inside, although it is quite small, again like the E208. You said in the back that the room was sort of minuscule, didn't you? Really?
Yeah, the seat depth in the back isn't great, and I think for a long journey you wouldn't have the support on your legs to be comfortable for a long time. And even if I was sitting back and relaxing, even my head was touching the roof. So
you did have a bobble hat on though.
I did have a bobble hat, yeah.
So yeah.
But still, it's not. It wouldn't be great for passengers for long journeys.
No, okay,
unless they were children.
Yeah, fair enough. So let's run through a few specs for you. So in terms of charging, onboard charger 7.4 kilowatts, so pretty standard of all EVs. DC rapid is 99 kilowatts, top speed of 95 miles an hour, and 0 to 60 was not amazingly quick. What did you did a 0 to 60, so what did you think?
It's okay, it's
yeah.
enough. It was enough, but it wasn't like record breaking.
No. So I think that 0 to 60 was 8.7 seconds.
Okay.
So it's all right.
Yeah, we've had slower.
Yeah, we have. And I remember cars in my youth, you know, they were struggling to pull 12 and 13 seconds. So this is pretty good. So again, E208, it's very similar sort of power and 0 to 60 times. So, but I've got to say, having been a passenger in it, I've not actually driven it. Kate's done all the driving. I actually quite like it, you know, and I didn't like it 2 hours ago, but I've warmed to it. I feel that it's a nice place to be, and I've always been a bit like that with Citroens, where I look at them and go, oh no, but then over a period of time, and not often a long time, I sort of warm to them, and it gets better. So
yeah, I think if it was just for one person or two people, I think it's really good. The accessibility in the back isn't great, so I think again for passengers that's not wonderful.
No, I think putting Florence in the back, I mean she gets in her own car seat now, but when she was a baby, I think it'd be quite difficult.
Yeah.
So going back to the battery and range, it's fitted with a 50 kilowatt hour battery, and it has a usable of 45 kilowatt hours, which is quite good. It's enough, and I think realistically, if we're honest, it's going to average somewhere around 3 to 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, depending on how you drive and weather conditions. But at the moment, it's showing a range of 130 miles, and we started with that, so we are driving quite sedately down this country road, but you know, 13 miles in now and it's still showing 130 miles, so, and I don't think that's far off. And probably enough as well for most people.
Yeah. There are a couple of quirks like the E208, and one of those for me is the drive selector. It's not quite as easy to use as I'd like it to be.
No, like for the Leaf, for example, the Leaf, you just swing it into gear, then it works well, where this has a button on the side of the gear stick, doesn't it? It doesn't seem to always select the gear.
No, and getting it into reverse in particular,
yeah,
I found it's not awful, but it's not quick.
Another quirk that we've noticed is there seems to be a bit of a delay when you want to start the car. You can't just flick your finger on the start button and it starts instantly like the Leaf, for example. You have to hold it on there for a couple of seconds, and if you don't, it fails to start. And that's the same when you switch it off. You have to hold it for a couple of seconds. Again, there's a delay, which, I don't know, in the world we live in, it's always rush, and you just want to foot on the brake, hit it, start, and into gear and drive.
Yeah.
So them two things there, I think, might annoy people a little bit. It's definitely something that I've noticed, and I think other people will too. Did you notice it when you? Yeah.
One of the other things I noticed while you talk about speed, when using the reversing camera, and I think this might have been on the also on the Yaris that we did hybrid.
Yeah.
But there's a delay when you finish reversing and you put it back into drive and you start to drive off. It doesn't straight away flick back away from not being on the reversing camera. There's a delay.
Oh, so it hangs onto the camera for a while. Yes, I remember that on the Yaris actually. Yeah.
Just one other thing, while we're talking about negatives, the sat-nav I think is a little bit dated and not what I would expect in 2021.
Yeah, so a little bit sticky, if you like.
Sticky and flat.
Yeah, a little bit like the Nissan Leaf. But people don't even use the in-car sat-nav anymore. I think they're probably just putting that in there because they have to be seen to be putting a nav system in.
Yeah,
Really,
maybe.
you just use the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto that comes with it, and use Waze, Google Maps or Apple Maps or something.
Yeah.
So, right, price.
Too much.
They're always too much, aren't they?
They are.
It's
They
like
are.
31 grand or something.
Wasn't it more?
So, no, I think it was 31, but you can probably get cheaper deals than that. And I know Citroen do good discounts, but when you look at the target market for this, you have to understand that who is going to want to buy this, and they haven't got 31 grand to spend. But I would say that very likely, if you searched around PCP deals, lease deals, you'd get it. You're never going to pay 31 grand for it. You're just going to PCP it and then move it on after a couple of years and get something else. And that's what 90% of new cars are bought like. So I think the price is a bit of you're never paying the full asking price, are you? So
You're not, but it's still too much.
it is. If this was a petrol car, it would probably be 17, 18 grand.
Yeah.
So big difference. But I do like it.
Yeah, I do.
But I definitely wouldn't have one.
No.
I definitely wouldn't have one.
I'm with you. I really like it. It just wouldn't fit our lifestyle. If I was in my early 20s and I was commuting to and from work and going out with my mates, fine.
Yeah.
But no, it's not practical.
No, it's true. It's not for us, but it will be for somebody, and also the looks will appeal to people more than they do to us. I mean, that's just our personal view. You might like the looks. So, and they do grow. They're growing on me.
I like the looks. So, it's only you.
No, I do like them, but I'm warm to them. But I think that somebody else would look at it and go, "Oh yes, that's for me." Whereas some cars I look at and go, "Yes." Whereas this one I didn't, but I've grown. It's grown on me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I think as a direct comparison, the E208 is a better looking car, but I do prefer this higher up driving position. I do like that. Maybe that's because I'm getting older, because when I get in the Tesla I'm like so low down, but when I get in my EMV I'm like, yes, it's nice and high, and you get a little bit more landscape to look at, and
Good.
Is that age?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's fair to say we wouldn't pay 31 grand for one. In fact, what would you pay? What would you expect to want to pay for this?
We talked earlier about how my friend owned an equivalent of this car when we were in our early 20s, and she probably paid around about 9 or 10 grand for it. Okay, that's
a long time ago.
Thank you. Yeah. A while ago, but I'd say 17, 18.
Do you know what?
Less than 20.
That is very similar to what I was going to say. 20 grand.
Less than, yeah.
Yeah, less than. And if you were paying for it on PCP, what would you expect to pay for a month?
Between 150 and 200.
You see, I would probably go a little bit more than that. I would say about 225, 240.
Okay.
But what deposit?
Oh, I see. That's tricky. I don't know.
I would £1,000.
Yeah.
That's what I want to put down. £1,000, no more.
Well, that's going to target your market then, isn't it?
Yes.
And you're going to get a lot of young people who are new to the EV game wanting to buy this car.
Yeah. No, that is exactly where I want to be. £1,000, 240 a month. Tops, yeah. And 20 grand outright cash. That's where I'd want to be. And I think that would be more sensibly priced. Because you're gonna get the rewards of the savings of running it then, aren't you? No tax, minuscule amounts of electricity to minimal amounts of cost on electricity to run it, and minimal maintenance. So
yeah.
Right, should we leave it there then? I think we're about done. But what are we now? I think we're 45 miles, and we're on 136 miles range now. So in terms of range, it's doing quite well. It's going up.
I'm not sure how that works.
And we've got it in sport mode.
We've had another car that's done this. I can't think what it was.
I remember the ID3 did this.
Did it?
Yeah. So.
Who knows?
But yeah, I like it. I do like it, but I definitely wouldn't have one. But don't let that put you off. This will be a great car for somebody.
Yeah, if you've got 31 grand. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter @KatePhantom, and we'll see you again soon with another episode.